I've been asked to give a demonstration on how I sharpen my chisels. Now, there are a multitude of different ways of sharpening a chisel. I typically use my Tormek because time is of the essence, and you can just get that perfect consistency every time. So I'll show you quickly, using a honing guide, an oil stone, how to get a razor sharp chisel. So on the back of this one, this Stanley one, it says 25mm is 25 degrees, 12.5mm is 30 degrees, and 4mm is 35 degrees. Now typically, the sharper the angle, so if it's 25 degrees, it's going to be razor sharp, but it will lose its edge quicker. And if it's 30 degrees, that's a nice happy middle ground of sharpness and longevity. So I'm going to sharpen this one to 25 degrees, so that's 25mm from here. Now different honing guides will have different settings, but I'm sure you can figure out the angle of this by yourself using your miter saw, or figuring out with some kind of angle marking, a protractor or something. So this is set, it's nice and straight, and this chisel is already relatively sharp, so it's not going to take too much work on the oil stone to get good. So first things first, we get it set up, we get it nice and square, and we make sure that it's the right angle that we want. So I'm going to go for 25 degrees here, and the honing guide has got a wheel to run across your stone. So if you use a wet stone or an oil stone, that's perfectly fine. Just remember to keep them flat. Now you can use a diamond stone to get them flat, and you can also use a diamond stone to sharpen them as well. So typically what I do is, with your honing guide, if it's already relatively sharp, I would say just come in with backward strokes like this, and just keep nice even pressure on your chisel. If it's something where you've got to take a lot of material off, you can go forwards and backwards just to increase the speed of wear on it. So this time I'll just come backwards because I've already got a relatively sharp edge on here. And what we're looking for, just keep going over the same spot, the same amount of pressure, until we end up with a burr on the back. Now this is nearly just there. If you're starting with a rougher chisel, then it will take obviously a little bit longer, but this is fine. So keep applying pressure. Okay, we're nearly there. A few more passes. Now just remember, if you're using an oil stone, keep it lubricated with oil, and if you're using a wet stone, submerge it in water for about 10 minutes before you actually start your sharpening process. So there we go now. We've got just a little bit of sharpness coming up from the back of the chisel, and it's consistent all the way along the chisel. So that is perfect. So at this stage, we then take it out of the honing guide. And what I like to do is just hold the chisel flat across the wet stone or oil stone. Hold the chisel flat across the stone, and then just do one small pass backwards, which will take that burr away. And then we move on to a leather strop. So use real leather and not fake leather, and just put plenty of pressure on, and then do 5 strops on the back, 5 strops on the front, so on the bevel side, and then just check it. Now you can use your fingers to run up on either side, and you can still see if there's a tiny little piece of metal that's on the edge of the chisel, so that will stop it from being razor sharp. So this, we've still got a tiny bit of stropping to do. So a few more passes on the leather strop. Okay, and now we are done. We can just check whether it's got a nice sharp edge on it or not. So for me, chiselling this oak here is a piece of cake. Chiselling end grain is pretty easy. Still requires a little bit of pressure because it's oak, but yeah, that's how you sharpen a chisel with a honing guide and a stone. I can show you other methods, but I will certainly do that in due course. I need to keep a variety of content. going. So there you go, there's a chisel.